Good day, viewers, and welcome to V Concept College English. My name is Ernest. Today, I want to start a new series on lessons and structure. And this series is entitled 100 Commonly Misused Words Used in WAEC, NECO and JAMB Lessons and Structure. I repeat, 100 commonly misused words used in WAEC, NECO and JAMB Lessons and Structure. Now, this series is going to encompass 10 videos. I am planning to make 10 videos on this series to cover the 100 words, at least 10 words per each video. So, I'd like you to stay tuned to this channel so that you can get the full gist of the complete 10 videos that we want to make on the 100 different words. Today, we want to go through the first 10. And number one is words like used to / used to. 2, borrow, lend. 3, damage, damages. 4, accident, accidents, and incidents. 5, August, August. 6, hung, hang. 7, hanger, hanger. 8, loaf, loaf. 9, reverse, reverse, reverse. 10, adverse, adverse, adverse. Now, when you look at these words very closely, you will think that some of them are mixed spellings of some sorts, but not actually. I was talking about words like, okay, number 5, August, August, August. Now the pronunciation is different. That's number 1. And then when you come to another word like hanger and hanger, the difference is there is A in one and then there is E in the second. Then we look at loaf and loaf, loaf and loaf. Okay? And when you look at this, number 9, you have reverse, reverse, revise. These two are very close in production. That is reverse and reverse. So these words are no sorts of misspellings at all. They are words that are highly repeated in WAEC, NECO and JAMB. Now, let's take the first one. Used to / used to. Now, these words are verbs. They can be used to indicate past habits or past events. This one can serve as a verb as well as an adjective, while this one serves as a verb alone. Now, in this table, I want to show you how to use the two words in 3 different ways. The first one, we can have used to. Here we indicate that it is used as a verb. Here I will show you how the word can be used as a verb. And then in this second column, I will show you how the word can be used as an adjective. In this third column, I will show you how used to serves only as a verb. So we have this as a verb. Now, take note that the word used to has a regular form. The regular form of this word is that it serves as a verb. So that when you want to use it as a verb, it's going to indicate past action. To use this word as a verb, it is going to indicate past action. In this case, it normally comes before a verb. It comes before a verb. Take note of this. But when it's going to serve as an adjective, it comes before an adjective. Let's use adj for adjective. Then here, this one, if it's going to serve as a verb, it will not appear except if you are going to use it with did, except you are going to use it with did, or you are going to use it with didn't. Except you are going to use it with did or with didn't. Now, let's have examples of each of these cases. Let's have examples of each of these cases. If I say something like, I used to drive my father's car. I used to drive my father's car. Fine. Take note, this is the regular usage of the verb. This expression is telling us that this activity or action has passed. This fellow doesn't drive the father's car anymore. So he used to drive it. He used to do it. Okay? So it's a past event. It's the regular form. And then when you are going to use it as an adjective, it will say something different. When used to is used as an adjective, it's not talking about an event that has only passed, but it is trying to tell you that the person speaking is trying to tell you that he or she is accustomed to that event. To do that, you will normally bring a primary auxiliary verb to stand before used to. Primary auxiliary verb like is or are. So here you are going to have something like, I am used to driving my father's. I am used to driving my father's. I'm used to driving my father's car. Take note of this. Now, used to, the same form of the word, used to. But here, it is standing before driving. This is called gerund. A gerund is ing form of what? A verb, which is not standing before primary auxiliary verb, or that is not performing the function of a verb anymore in that expression. So it is saying that this fellow is accustomed. This fellow is what? Accustomed to this event. That is, the event has not only passed, like I said before, but the fellow is accustomed to it. That is, I am used to driving my father's car. But this one, this very event has what? Completely passed and forgotten. I used to drive my father's car. So this fellow doesn't drive the father's car any longer. Used to, remember, only as a verb. Used to does not appear in expressions, except that expression is going to contain did or did not. So in this case, I can say something like, did I used to, take notes, did I used to drive my father's car? Did I used to drive my father's car? Correct. So, because did has been introduced, alright, this is a question. Because did has been introduced, then used to cannot appear here. So you cannot say, did I used to drive my father's car? No, you don't add did to this. Okay? Now, if you want to use not or a negation, you are going to say, I did not use to drive my father's car. I did not use to drive my father's car. Fine. So take note of these expressions. Now let's have past exam questions. Example, JAMB 1978. The dash received visitors on short notice. A, used to. B, are used to. C, used to. D, are always. E, are used to. Good. So going by what you have just discussed, ask yourself, does this expression, that is the question, does it have anything like did or did not? If it doesn't, then you're going to eliminate the one that is in its simple form. So there's no did or did not in this expression. Therefore, use cannot appear. Okay, you remove it. Then A, used to cannot appear. Good. Because used to can only appear in an expression if the expression has did or did not. Good. Without understanding, you can eliminate two options. What am I saying? Like, they are always, look at this option. This option just doesn't work at all. It says things like, they are always receive this option. Just pushing aside. At the end of the day, you are now left with what? B and C. They are used to. Okay, let's read it this way as in filling it into the option. They are used to receive visitors. They used to receive visitors. Remember, I explained to you again that whenever you are going to have a primary auxiliary verb, then it means used to is going to appear as an adjective. And then the verb that will follow it must be ing. It must be in its ing form. So if you say they are used to receive, no, except if this one was receiving. Therefore, you can cross option B as well, and the correct answer is going to be what? Used to. So you can read it as they used to receive visitors on short notice. That is past event and no longer happening. So that is that on that. Let's now move forward to the second word, which is borrow and lend. Borrow / lend. Now, meaning. First of all, let's show that these two words are what? Verbs. Borrow. To get something from someone. Borrow means to get something. To get something from. To get something from someone. To get something from someone. Whereas lend means to give something to someone. So this is the short explanation of what these words are all about. To borrow means to get something from someone, while to lend means to give something to someone. Now let's do something like this. The borrower is the receiver of whatever it is that you're talking about. The receiver, while the lender is the giver, So this is how it works. Let's have a case of how to use this expression in sentences. May I borrow your pen? May I borrow your pen? Correct. May I borrow, that is, will you give me your pen? Okay, I think we can put that one as the example of the second phase of the words that we are considering. So you can say something like, will you lend me your pen? Will you lend me your pen? Correct. So, may I borrow your pen? Correct. May I take your pen? May I receive your pen? Okay, let me use the word receive. May I receive your pen? Then, for lending, you say, will you lend me your pen? Will you give your pen out to me? Don't say, borrow me your pen. Borrow me your pen is wrong. Instead, you can say what? Lend me your pen. Lend me your pen. Correct. Lend me your pen. So, if you understand that the borrower is the receiver and the lender is the giver, then you will not have any problem with these words. Let's have an example. Now, our example is JAMB 1986. I forgot to bring a pen with me. Would you please dash me yours? Would you please dash me yours? A. Would you please borrow me yours, loan me yours, provide me yours, lend me yours? Good. So what happens here? Can you tell someone, borrow me yours? No, you can't say borrow me yours. Loan me, this is used for funds or finances, so you cannot go with pen. Then you can have, would you please provide me yours? Provide on what grounds? So why should the person provide you with a pen? Is the person your parent or your sponsor? So provide cannot go. can already see our explanation that when you are going to talk about who is going to give it, it is lend. So you say, would you please lend me yours? Beware of, would you please borrow me yours? And I'm glad I gave you this example. Borrow me your pen is wrong. It's lend me your pen. So that is that of borrow and lend. Now let's go forward to the next one, which is damages. Damages. Now, these two words are both nouns. Let's take note of that. Although damage can as well be used as a verb, and I will try to explain how all these can happen. Okay? How all they can what happen. Now, what's the meaning of damage? Damage means a loss or injury to someone or someone's property. So you are going to use the word damage. Okay? A loss, that is used as a noun. I think I can shift it back here and say damage as what? As a noun. Good. Then now, we can also have damage as a verb, which is the action of what? Causing damage. The action of causing damage. So you will not be wondering, damage is the action of causing damage. Fine. So that means the word maintains its form both as a noun and as a verb. So it now depends on the structure of the expression. That is why lesis must go with structure. So you cannot just have lesis. Lesis is always accompanied by what? Structure. Now, what about the one that has an S? So if you have a situation like damages, this one is a noun. Okay? And this one means a compensation to be paid for causing damage or causing a loss or injury. But I'd like you to know that the form of these words that WAEC, NECO and JAMB regularly use every other year, okay, is the form of the damage and damages. So sometimes they leave out this verb aspect of it. But you have to what? Equip yourself. And also know that the same word can stand as what? A verb. Now let's have a case of how to use them. Okay, how do we use these words? So let's have sentences of how these words can happen. Okay, he was asked to pay damage. He was asked to pay damages for the damage to my car. He was asked to pay damages for the damage to my car. Good. So take note of this. Pay damages for the damage to my car. Okay? He was asked to pay damages for the damage to my car. Another person can put this one in a different way and say, he must pay damages. He must pay damages for damaging my car. Correct. So what we're interested in here is this damaging. I've already explained that damage is still a verb, and the ing form of it is the damaging that we have here. And if you want us to use it in this form in an expression, then I can say something like, I asked him not to damage my car, so he must pay damages. So let's read some of the expressions that we have now. He was asked to pay damages for the damage to my car. That's damages. Damages is the money to pay. But he must pay damages for damaging my car. Okay, he must pay damages for damaging my car. Then I try to maneuver that damaging to give you the right form of the noun. So that is the shape of the noun, of the noun form of the word. So I say something like, I asked him not to damage my car, so he must pay damages. Let's have an example. JAMB 1985. The court ordered the lorry driver to pay for the dash to my car. A. Damages. B. Heavy damages. C. Destruction. D. Many damages. E. Damage. Good. So here we come. Now this is the court asking someone to pay. What will the court ask someone to pay? The court cannot ask someone to pay damage. It is what? Damages. So the correct answer is what? A. But if you just want to play around with other options, you have heavy damages. We already said that damages is money. So is there anything like heavy money? So you see that this option can just go. Many damages. Once there's S attached to this damage, then automatically it now means money. So many damages will go as well. What about destruction? Let us play around with the option. We've already picked our option. Alright? So what about things like destruction? There's nothing like destruction to my car. Okay, because some people might be tempted with an option like this. But instead of taking destruction, the collocator of destruction should be off. So the destruction of my car. There cannot be anything like destruction to my car. It's destruction of my car. So an off is not there. So don't forget about that option. That was just a short play around with our options. The correct answer is A. Now let's move forward to the next set of words, which is accidents, incidents, and incidents. You have to be very careful with these words, especially these two last ones that sound alike, that are homophones. What is the meaning of accident? What's the meaning of accident? Accident, okay, comma S or bracket and close S means it can be made plural. It's a noun. It's an unexpected occurrence. An unexpected occurrence that results in injury. That is accident. Okay, if it is singular. Then what about what? Incident. Incident is also a noun. Incident, and it can be made plural, so you can have comma, bracket and close S. Is also, okay, we said result in injury or property damage. Please let's add that to this. Property what? Damage. Why? Accident means the same thing, but no injury or property damage. Accident, an unexpected occurrence that results in injury or property damage. That's accident. Then incident is an unexpected occurrence too, okay, but does not result in what? Injury or property damage. What about incidents? Incidents, okay. Incidence is the rate at which accident or incident occurs. So if accident occurs 3 times, you say the incidence of the particular thing that is causing that accident, okay, is high. So that is just how we use incidence, okay. If an unexpected occurrence takes place and no injury or property damage, then you can say the number of incidents that your behavior has caused. Now let's have an expression, okay? Let's have an expression where we can use these 3 words together. Now check this out. There is a high incidence rate of all the incidents of lateness to work and the number of accidents that have resulted from the overall experience. This means there is a high counting number of all the experiences of people coming late to work and the accidents that have occurred as a result of lateness to work. So this is how we use accident, accident, and incidents. So now let's have an example, okay, and see how these elements are tested in the exam. JAMB 1978. In West Africa, the dash of sickle cell is about 25%. A. Incident. B. Incidence. C. Accident. D. Accidents. E. Incense. Now let's start from the first one. The incidence of sickle cell is about 25%. When they say about 25%, this is measurement. So they are measuring the rate at which sickle cell is what? Taking place or is happening. Okay, so I'm going to say the incidence is 25%. Incident doesn't measure rate. What about incidence? Correct. So this is the only word that measures what? The rate at which incident or accident occurs. Going by what? Our explanation. So that is that on the fourth set of the words. So we go to the fifth set, which is what? August. August. Take note of the pronunciation and then the spelling as well. These first words must basically start with capital letter, while the second word can usually start with what? Small letter. But if it is at the beginning of a sentence, of course, then you will build sentence construction and it can start with capital letter. Now, what's the meaning of August? August. This simply means the 8th month of the year. Then what about August? August. Someone precious. Let's look at the usage. We had an August visitor in August last year. What is important is that this August, since it's not at the beginning of the sentence, it must start with small letter. Then August last year is the month, and someone very precious. Okay, a visitor that was very dear to us. So we had an August visitor in August last year. Let's have an example from past questions. Well, 2009. I am delighted to speak before this august assembly. Now we are being asked to pick a synonym for the word august. That's the structure that covered this question. Alright, so monthly is august means monthly assembly or popular or crowd or honorable. Good. So when you look at this, like we have explained, we say august is someone precious, something impressive. Okay, so it's not monthly. Is it popular? Yes, popular. So we said, I am what? Delighted to speak before this popular assembly. That is a precious assembly. In other words, an impressive assembly. So that's that about how to use August and August. We move to the next one, which is hung and hanged. Hung and hanged. These two words are coming from one root word, and the word is hang. That is to hang something. Now you can have something like hang, you can have what? Hung, for example. You can have hung, and then you are going to have what? Hung. And then if you also have hang, then you can have what? Hanged, hanged, and then you have what? Hanged, as in present past and participle. This one means to hang clothes. To hang what? Clothes. To hang clothes on the what? Hanger. Why this one means to hang for execution. For execution. To hang for execution. That is, when someone commits suicide, then you use this word hanged. Usage. Clothes. So take note of this. Clothes can be hung. So murderers are what? Hanged. So don't make the mistake of saying clothes can be hanged on hanger. No. You don't say clothes can be hanged on hanger. If someone says clothes can be hanged, clothes can be hanged on hangers, this is a wrong usage. Clothes can be hanged on hangers. No. But you say clothes can be hung on hangers. Now let's have example from past questions. Example, JAMB 1986. When he had arranged the furniture, he dashed the picture on the wall. Take note, Hang, hung, hang, hanged, hanged. For clothes or items, and then this one for execution. So if a dash pictures on the wall, this is clothes or what? Items. Okay, you can say items. So you can hang items. So we're going to say what? A, hanged. B, hanged cannot appear here because this one is exclusively reserved for execution, murder, and suicide. Okay? Then B, he hung the clothes on the wall, suspect this, he hung the clothes on the wall. This is past tense and this is present tense form. And the expression is past tense, so you cross this. He hung, there's no word like hunged in leses. So at the end of the day, the correct option is B. JAMB 1991, Etuk, without giving any hint as to what he intended to do, went and dashed himself. Good. This is a case of someone killing himself. So is it going to be hung or hanged? It is hanged. So just look for the option hanged. C. This is the case of someone killing himself. So we move forward to the next pair, which is hanger and hanger. That is hanger spelled with A and hanger spelled with E. Hanger and hanger. That's the one spelled with A and the one spelled with E. I think this pair is a little bit simple. Hanger, that is the one spelled with A, is a large building for housing aircraft. A large building for housing aircraft. Okay, that is where airplanes are what? Kept. Aircraft, that is American word. Aeroplane, this is British. Okay, so a large building where airplanes are what? Kept, or where they are parked. While hanger, that is the one spelled with E, means any object that you can hang clothes or other items. Can be hung, now can be hanged. So any object where clothes stroke other objects can be hung is a hanger. Whereas a large building where aircraft or aeroplanes are what? Parked, then is called what? Hanger with AR. Hanger with AR. Where aeroplanes or aircraft are parked. But any object or item for hanging clothes or other items is hanger with E. I think this one is a little bit simple. So let's just move forward to our next pair of words, which is loath and loath. The next pair of words here is loath and what? Loath. Loath and loath. This first word is an adjective. Take note of that. While this second one is a verb. This one is a verb. Good. And what's the meaning of this? This one means to be reluctant. To be reluctant. While this one means to be disgusted with. Disgusted with. Disgusted with. So what is important is the way to use them in expressions. Whenever you want to use this, it must be used in a descriptive form of somebody or of someone. Let's look at using it so that you can understand better. If I say something like, he is loath, he is loath, this is perfect. How do you know it's perfect like this? Because it means reluctant. If you bring reluctant now to replace loath here, that is, if I say reluctant, that is, I refuse to pronounce loath and I take reluctant. See, to work. He is reluctant, so he is loath. But don't say he loath. Don't use it as a verb by adding s to it or whatever it means. Alright? So he is loath. He is reluctant to go to places that he hates with passion. So to loathe you can also say it means to what? To hate something or to hate some places. So he is reluctant to go to places that he hates with passion. He loathes with passion. So this is how to use these words in expression. Now let's look at their occurrence in past questions. JAMB 2003, Anthony. I am loath to do the assignment. That is to find a word that is opposite to loath. Now going by what we just explained, loath means to be reluctant. So unwilling is the same thing as loath. When you are loath, you are reluctant, and you are unwilling. So you cross this. Waiting does not apply here. Dying does not apply, but willing is the word, a word that is opposite to loath. Loath is to be unwilling, that's to be reluctant. While what willing is the opposite word to that. So let's go to the next word, which is item number 9. Reverse, reverts, revise. Reverse, reverts, revise. Now all these words are what? Verbs. So we don't have much problem here. But what do they mean? To revise means to turn around. Reverse is to turn around. To revert is to return to the previous condition. To reverse is to go over a written piece again. How do we use this expression? Let me create an expression to demonstrate their usage. If you reverse the car, it will revert to its damaged state, and you will be forced to revise. You'll be forced to revise the instruction manual. I take it again. If you reverse the car, it will revert to its damaged state, and you will be forced to revise the instruction manual. So to reverse, if you turn the car around, it will go back to its previous condition, its damaged state. We'll use this word damage because it can take verb form, and that's why we're adding D here. And then you will have to go and revise the instruction manual. So this is how these 3 words can appear in a single expression like this. So the last set of words that we have includes adverse, averse, avert. Now looking at these words, this one is a noun, and this one can be an adjective, and then this one can be a verb. All right? And what do they mean? Adverse means something that works against you. What about averse? Averse means a strong feeling of dislike. And then what about avert? Avert means to prevent something from happening. Now let's look at the usage. I am not averse to drought, although it has certain adverse effects that we can avert if we please. So that is, I do not dislike drought, although it has certain displeasing effects that we can prevent if we choose to. So this is an expression involving the words, the use of the 3 words. Okay, so let's now go over the past exam questions and see how these words were used. Why 1998? Probably the motorist saw the oncoming lorry too late to be able to dash disaster. A. Avert. B. Revert. C. Convert. D. Adverse. E. Reverse. So if you look at the meaning of averse, adverse, and avert, this is an oncoming lorry. The motorist, probably the driver, didn't see the lorry on time to be able to dash disaster. What do you do to disaster? You avert disaster. So that is the end of the first part of this series. I'd like you to stay tuned while we meet again in the second part. Thank you.